So, okay. I just felt the need to come on here and just talk about this season that I'm in. Because this is a season like I've never been in before. And the fact that, with my new apartment and everything, I am like truly in a season of isolation with like no roommates, no nothing. And it's quite literally just me and my thoughts and God. And nothing else but that. And it kind of feels like the Abraham season of him being called to a place that he's never known before. And now it's like I really have to just like step out and trust God with what he has for me. All I have to say is this is the most amount of faith that I've ever had to have in God, and the most amount of trust and discipline and spiritual growing up that I've ever had to do before. So, man, there have just been a lot of nights recently of me being like, Lord, why did you really tell me? Like, did you really call me to this place in my life? Did you really call me to this season? And I feel like it's just it's confusing. And right now he has me in a position to where I can't go to anybody else but him. And the vision and the calling that he's placed on my life right now, it's like you can't go to everybody with that. You can't go to everybody and tell them your vision and everything, because they might out of good intention, mind you, like they might give you rationalization when right now you just need faith. And there have been times where I'm like, Lord, I feel so crazy. Like I look crazy. Like if nobody else tells me that I look crazy, I know I look crazy, just with the visions and everything that he's calling me to do. And it's like you really can't trust everybody with that. Even with good intention, it's just a season of really hearing God's voice more than you hear, your environment's voice, more than you trust your own voice, and distinguishing, because, the Bible says the sheep will hear me by my voice or something like that. I don't know, but it's been real. It's been tough. Just being in this place where I have to spiritually grow up, not having everything handed to me, spiritually and even physically. Like I've been to a place of, I feel like I'm kind of independent, kind of doing, whatnot. But God really showed me that unless I work, I may be discontent in areas like, oh, well, I wish I had more. I wish I had this and I wish I had that. And there will be times when, it would just be provided freely. But this season, it's really showing me that, unless I work the calling that God has placed on my life, there's no other way around it. Like just going through it and investing, having the discipline to, set aside time to do what God has told me to do. I don't have the excuse of having, oh, well, I can only record during this certain time because so-and-so, is like, I'm here by myself. I don't have any noise excuse or nothing. I'm just, I have the time to record. But it's just a matter of really setting out that discipline and doing it. And I remember it was a couple weeks ago, which is basically why I'm doing this, because it's kind of just been that season of isolation. And I remember me and Tiana were praying. We really like went in and had church. just at our house, before I had moved into this place and everything. But we were praying, speaking in tongues, like the whole nine, just like going in and prophesying over each other too, and just interceding. Just, I don't even know how long we were just praying and praying, and just the Spirit of God just felt so heavy, just crying, speaking, all this stuff. And then she prayed over me, and I was like, da 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 da, just like on the ground, just prostrate and everything. And then, as she was like speaking over me and praying over me and prophesying, she's like, Lord, I thank you for the season of isolation and wilderness you're taking. I'm like, hold up. Hold up. I didn't agree to that. I agree with everything else, but I feel like I just got out of a season of like isolation and wilderness. So why would God? She wasn't lying. She was not lying at all. So I'm like, okay, God, all right. Let's see. But I'm learning in this wilderness that just like the Israelites, he can't take us into the promised land until our mentality changed. Like, we may have been delivered from the place, but we haven't been delivered from the mindset yet. There was, I think it's from Jerry Flowers or something. He said something along the lines of, we may have been delivered from the place, but the place wasn't delivered out of us, and having that mentality of bondage and having the cravings for slavery, just like I think it was in Exodus 16, where they talked about craving like the different meats and seasonings or stuff. It made me hungry, low-key. But like the meats and seasonings and stuff versus the manna that God provided, like I would rather be in slavery right now. So I'm like, he's really fixing both my mind and my appetite in this season as I come from a place of feeling like there's bondage and everything, and in this transitioning season to my promise. And he's really just saying to me, like, I can't trust you with the promised land because I don't want you to self-sabotage. I don't want you to taint the promised land with your bondage thinking. So this season is really, it has been, and it's gonna continue to be until I learn my lesson, like a season of a season of unlearning, of pruning, of just detoxing, and even having withdrawals from the cravings that I had in my bondage season, all my coping mechanisms, all my addictions that I might have had and picked up in that season of bondage, all the things that I knew before I truly depended on and trusted God with literally every aspect of my life. Finances, food, what I eat, like working out, just budgeting, just everything, like what I watch, like just so many things, what I even wear, like it's just giving God full control. And it's been tough, bro. It's been tough. There be some nights I'm like, why God, why? Like, and just be wanting to go back to what I knew, because that's what I've known. Like, even though it wasn't the best, it's what I knew. You so often hear of, people who leave abusive relationships, and, you can see, and they can see that it's been a place of dysfunction. You can see that, it's not good for them. But if that's all they've known throughout their life and they don't know better, they're going to go back to it because that's what they know. It's a pattern. It's a habit, So it's just, even though I know it's working for my good, it's just so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable, and it's really a daily battle of having to fight. Like, I felt like I had more stability in bondage. I feel like I had, more predictability, more security. I knew, where the next piece of provision was coming. I knew this and I knew that. I could predict what was going to happen the next day. But with God, it's like the day to day, like the mystery of trusting him, like fully putting your trust in him through everything. It's, oh my gosh, it's something else. But it's a mentality thing, and making sure that I'm focusing on God through everything. It's hard. It's really hard, but just learning that he has the best intentions for me, and that he is good throughout everything that I'm going through the discipline I'm learning, the budgeting, the, cutbacks, everything. Just, he's working for my good, and knowing that gives me the greater ability to trust him and to lean on him in this season. Because I practice a mentality in bondage of saying, oh, where's God? Feeling like he's just doing things just to do things, like he sees where I'm at and he's just ignoring me, or he's just not working for my good. But practicing that mindset of being like, the Lord is with me through this all. Like, he's being in my word and really looking at stories of people who've gone through similar things to me, like just being in his presence and understanding how good of a God he is. And from there, it makes it easier to trust him in this season of isolation. So yeah, I felt the need to share that. Oh yeah.